So that's one of the goals, is simply to be in the conversation, create awareness and learn from each other, which is kind of the first half hour. Hopefully you met a lot of new people that you haven't ever met before, and you got to know folks. And then the third goal, if people are interested, is get a task force set up. And so get 6, 10, 15 people who just want to sit down and brainstorm and create ideas. Some of the ideas will hopefully come from us today, of what we do next, because I have no idea. I don't know what our next steps are. I don't know what the best thing to do next is. And we need to come up with those ideas together, collaboratively, as a group, and we need to work on moving that forward. So those are kind of the goals for the day. And this whole thing really got kick-started when we had interviews for boards and commissions for the city. And we had a great turnout. We had over 30 people interviewing for the boards, but vast majority, all but 2 of those people looked like me. And that doesn't work in a community that does not look like me the entire way. And so that's kind of where this got kickstarted, is to make sure that we find ways to get information out to everybody, and so everybody knows what's going on, and we have more people involved to make our city and school districts and everything better. So here's a little about Shakopee. Back in 2000, Shakopee was 20,568 residents. We grew by 80.3% in the last census, 2010, to 37,076 people. So we grew by 16,508 people over a 10-year period, which is serious growth. That's a lot of people coming into an area, and a lot of that are new families, little kids, and a lot of that are minorities who came and moved to Shakopee because it's a great place to be. And so we didn't do a great job of capturing everybody and getting them into our community. So a little more, Shakopee, 6.8% of us are 65 and older. And we are a very youth-heavy community. We are 18 and under, 30.2%. So almost a third of Shakopee is under 18. 5 and under are 10%, so there are a lot more people coming up. And so in order for Shakopee to be successful in the long haul, we need to make sure that all those people are included. And the school district has been doing a great job of working on getting everybody included, and the city has lagged behind, but we're stopping that tonight. So we are moving forward with this. As to ethnic diversity, Shakopee is 10.3% Asian, 7.8% Hispanic or Latino, 4.3% Black, 2 or more races, 2.7%, and 1.2% American Indian. So with that, that means that over a quarter of the city is not white, which a lot of people in Shakopee don't know and don't realize. That is, if the minorities in Shakopee were a city on their own, that would be nearly the size of Alexandria, which is a big town up north. It's larger than Arden Hills, Rogers, and New Prague, and it's nearly double the size of Jordan, just to give everybody an idea of how many people we've got here in Shakopee that are needing to be included in everything. So 1 in 4 residents, there we go. 1 in 4 residents in Shakopee, more than that actually, are not white. And we all need to recognize that, and recognize that if we go, like I've given a speech at, not to pick on Rotary, but Rotary the other day, and other associations and places where it is not representative of the population we have in Shakopee. So we need to make sure to be getting all those, the little girls are waving at me in the back, make sure to get people involved who aren't involved. And so moving forward that way. So we want everybody in this room, and everybody in this room's neighbors, and everybody's neighbors' neighbors to talk about people getting engaged in the city of Shakopee, getting involved in the city of Shakopee, and getting active in the city of Shakopee. So that's what we want to get done today, and figure out how to move forward with that. So now Christina's going to talk about school district.
Again, I'm Christina Oxstrom, the communications coordinator for the Shakopee School District. If you get the calendar, newsletter, sometimes letters from our district, that's me. The website, that's me. So in some way or another, you received something I did. And diversity, as you can see, is very near and dear to my heart. I'll give you some demographics. Overall in our districts of 2011, we have 1.9 Native American compared to the state's 2%. For our Asian students, we have 12.5 compared to the state's 6.5. Hispanic, we have 12.1% Hispanic students, and the state is only 6.9. These are the average for schools across the state. African American, we have 6.5% African American students compared to the state's 10%. And Caucasian students, we have 67% in our schools compared to the state average of 74.3%. And over 40 languages and dialects are spoken in our school district. So you can imagine that communication is a challenge. We do have cultural liaisons. Some of them are here today. We have a Russian, Somali, Native American, and Spanish cultural liaisons to help us communicate with our students and our families. They help out during conferences, events, translating materials, phone calls that you might get that we need translations for. We use our language line, school messenger. We also are now trying to attend events where we can recruit more staff members of diverse background. You probably know we have lots of ESL, ELL events and programs. We have family literacy programs for our families. We first held our Latino Information Night at the high school, I believe a year ago. So we also have the Skittles program that Mary helped get started at the middle school. They're offering spring, summer sports programs for children of all color who can't afford to participate in sports. Am I hitting your button? Oh, okay. And also in 2008, the Shakopee School District became part of MRVEC, the Minnesota River Valley Integration Collaborative, with the school districts in Prior Lake and Savage and Jordan, so we can address the needs of our diverse students and families in these 3 districts. We're teaming up with them. Let's see. And we also have LEAP, and we have Miss Autumn, who will tell you about that program. It's a program at the high school that addresses the needs of our non-native speakers who no longer qualify for ELL services but still need some kind of academic support, and help them get to college, help them understand the system. We also have LEAD. The advisor is Mr. Kelly here, and we have some of our student members here. They're part of a Leaders in Education and Diversity at the high school, a club that focuses on educating our schools and our community about diversity. Personally, I'm going to take off my hat, my district hat, and speak personally. I was born in the Philippines, and I immigrated here to the United States when I was in high school. So I know firsthand what it's like to be new to the country and try and understand an entirely new school system while mom and dad are trying to adjust, get a house, get a job, and I'm trying to figure out how to get to college, how to get money. I speak several languages because I just love languages and culture. And also, in order to, since I know what it's like to be a student in need, I established a scholarship recently called the Kaleidoscope Scholarship. It's to help minority high school students in need at Shakopee High School. By minority, I mean the usual minority group you would normally think of. But I would also include our Slavic population, Russian, Ukrainian, Latvian, because I consider them to be part of the minority group. Although they are white, they are, to me, a minority group that we should also help and include. So if there's anyone there who would like to donate to the scholarship, there's brochures over there, you know who to find. And if you'd like to be part of the committee to select the recipient for it, that would be great. The students who are applying have to be graduating from the high school, complete an application, have a letter of recommendation from a teacher or a counselor. One thing I don't ask for is I don't ask for their parents' information, their tax information, etc. I know that that's a stumbling block for some families. They get nervous about that, and it hinders them from asking for help. So I don't need to know that. I just want to know you're going to college, you got good grades, and you're going to be successful. And I will help you out with that. So if you'd like to help with the scholarship, please let me know. I think I'm on time. Right now, I'd like to introduce to you our Russian cultural liaison, who is our next speaker, Svetlana Mashar.
Oh. Oh, okay.
She gets to sit down, though. It's not fair.
Hi, thank you for letting me to be a speaker from Russian community. My name is Svetlana Mshar. I'm a resident of Shakopee for 12 years, and this is my 12th year working for Shakopee School District as a Russian cultural liaison. I would like to explain to you the Russian culture in Shakopee. I have to explain this in two parts. First is a smaller portion of the traditional Russian community in Shakopee. We don't have a lot of people like from this group. They're more active. They do participate in many activities in school and the community, and they becoming more American, but they do keep their culture at home. Now I want to talk about the larger portion of the community. Here, this is population is more faith religious oriented, and most of them belong to Shakopee, even Russian Evangelical Christian Church or other churches around Twin Cities. They came to United States for a religious freedom. They are legal immigrants and they have permanent green card or refugee status, and many have become citizens. They are a very close-knit community. They are less likely to get involved outside of their community or church. Almost all activities are driven by church, and they do around the church. They don't go out to the community. They do this not of disrespect to other people. This is just simply their beliefs. But they do have some connections with the city. For example, mobile health clinic from the Scott County Public Health, and they're using their parking lot one time per month, and it's open to the public. We do have like Europa Plus Russian food store on the First Avenue in Shakopee. It's connect like to the food. In the church, they are doing a lot of fundraisers for missionaries to other countries, and you don't know probably about this, but they do a lot of fundraisers and send money to Mexico, to Ukraine, and etc. And they don't talk about this. They want to be like more quiet. They do have Russian school every Saturday from 9:45 to 12:15 to keep their culture and language, but school is open for a lot of American or other people, and we do have some people who come to school who adopt children from Russia, and parents like American, but they're keeping language at school. Also, they do a lot of food sale, like bakery sale or homemade food on Saturdays after Russian school or on Sunday after worship service. If you would like to learn more about this part of the community, I can't talk a lot from them. You have to contact the pastor of the church or church representative. Suggestion for the future, it's like my personal opinion. I would like to see here in Shakopee like international festival. I think it will be really good, and it will be nice to get all cultures together and present their traditions. And also, I am really excited to hear if this will be formed the city committee to focus on diversity group. This is all what I want to say today. Thank you.
Great job, Svetlana. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Dee Burrows is next.
Good evening. My name is Dee Burrows, and I'm the Indian Education Coordinator with Shakopee Schools. I've been in this position about 16 years, I think. And prior to that, I worked at the tribe for the Midwauketon Reservation and developed a lot of ties with the Indian community here. I'm here tonight because I do believe there is a strong need for some strategies and some plans to bring unity to our community. And if we look at the past, we can see what doesn't work. New policies don't work. Education all in itself doesn't bring unity to a community. I was raised in the South, in South Carolina, in a very divided community. So there was a white side of town and a black side of town, and we stayed separate. How many of you remember desegregation and the laws of desegregation? Where the yes, okay. Might not have been a huge deal in Minnesota, but South Carolina was the last state to go through that because they knew it was going to be a pretty big deal. So I grew up with a lot of civil unrest in our town. And I believe that laws don't work, and education doesn't work, and change of policies don't work. The only thing that brings a unity to a community is a change of heart. And I am committed to do what I can and to be a part of a community that's working toward that. Shakopee School District has allowed me to share my journey with my experiences with several groups in our district this year, and it's been something very different. And I've been allowed to speak to teachers, and some of them are here tonight, and school paraprofessionals, and the lunch staff, and bus drivers, and to take a look at, to share my journey, but also take a look at individual hearts, because it's individuals that you change. You don't change a community as a whole or a population as a whole. And I've learned so much working through the American Indian community in the last few years. But the superintendent allowed me to speak with those individuals this year and just try to bring about just the beginning of changing hearts. And in that presentation, we talk about historical trauma and how generations of trauma and how that impacts our students. And I've heard people say, well, how does that really impact students in our classrooms today? You know, that happened such a long time ago. Well, absolutely, it impacts our students. And making an awareness is a place to start, but it's not a place to end. I also talk about unearned privileges and the fact that if you are a white male and you're not in a wheelchair and you speak English, then you're at the top of the pyramid and you have more privileges than anyone else. And just being aware of that fact that when you walk through the door, you have a number of privileges, unearned privileges that are in your pocket. And it just so happens that we have many people that don't have the same privileges as we have, and I will stress the word unearned. We do really nothing to earn those privileges, but that's the way our society is structured, and those things need to change. So my connection to the community is that I work in the school districts, and I have this privilege of working with a tremendous set of people. The American Indian community is strong here, and they have passion for unity. I work with the tribe and with tribal staff, and I work with individual students in our school and also individual families. And I just love what I do, and I have a true passion for it, and I'm so glad to be here tonight to be a part of change and changing of hearts in our community. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next we have Ibrahim Mohammed.
That's okay. Thank you. Mayor Brat, the school district, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, can you hear me well? Okay, good. I'm very honored to be here this occasion. And before I get here today, I was talking one of my friend. We work in the school district. I was nervous, you know, what we're gonna do here. And then I asked it to get a tip. And then she told me, did you ever had diversity summit? She said, no, it's the first time. I was very happy, you know, that I will be in the town hall and I will meet with the new faces. Shakopee, it's a big city. It's not a small town. I remember 2000, I used to work in Seagate Technology in Shakopee when I first worked in Normandale, Bloomington, but later we came in Shakopee. So that time I remember it was a small place, and you don't see Somalis and other community, they were little. Now you can see the the faces. What a big faces, good faces. I am Shakopee resident, and I work for the school district for my third year, and I represent for the African, but mainly I represent for the Somalis. We have 110 students in the school district, from primary to middle school and junior high. And also, I'm including the number, even the Head Start. So together, they are 110 students. I'm very happy to be here to take part in this great meeting, and this is new beginning. And I appreciate for the new mayor. I was expecting, when they say mayor, you know, at least I was expecting like 60 years old or 50 years old. But that was my perception in my mind. And then I was saying, where's the mayor? And then I saw a guy younger than me. So that's the new also. I remember the previous mayor. I remember him. So this is new. So we have to start a new chapter. We have to work together. And Somali community, they need a lot of things. And I'm the only one work in the district. And I work part-time. And you know, and the needs are very, but you know, I will do my best. They have language barrier, they have a housing issue, they have communication issue, they have cultural barrier, and so as a community, we have to work together and learn together, and then work with everything we can improve our city. And Somali people, they have a long history. They are entrepreneurs. They are good with the business. If you go to South Minneapolis, you can see they have grocery stores. They have 2 malls. And they have a lot of things. They have chiropractic. Somalis, they are entrepreneurs, and we are expecting, this is the beginning. In the future, we can develop the city, we can bring business, and so I request very kindly for the Shakopee community to welcome for the Somalis. They are very friendly, and they are entrepreneurs, and they are smart, and they work hard. And Somali people, they are the only people in the government. 20 years they didn't have a government. And guess what? Now we have internet. And we have a money transfer business. Even, you know, when you are sending money, nobody asking you ID. And guess what? Your grandma in Mogadishu, she can get it. Guess what? Your uncle in Hargeisa, he can get the money within 5 minutes. So we will develop the city, we will live here, we will make our home, and we hope our country will come together. And God bless you. Thank you for you listening. And if you have questions, I will take later. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next up is Lupita Gutierrez, who's been writing
Yes.
furiously back there. You're doing great. Don't
yes,
be nervous. You're
I
good.
am very nervous. I've never done this before, but my name is Lupita Gutierrez, and I've been, I'm very pleased to be part of this group. I am here to support my co-worker and my very good friend, Mary Hernandez, who has made a tremendous effort to have our students and their families included in every aspect of the Shakopee community. I have worked for the Shakopee Public Schools as a Spanish-speaking liaison for 10 years, and I have seen many great changes. But we still need to see everyone in this city come together to help our students, our future, like we noted there, to help them be successful adults. And I am here to help out in any way I can. Thank you.
All right, now Suresh Nair.
Dear brothers and sisters, namaste. How many of you have heard about the word namaste before? Yeah, that's good. Namaste is a Sanskrit word using for greeting people in a traditional way. So usually we put the hands like this and slightly bow and say namaste. So the response would be the same way. So we can say namaste, who are saying namaste to you. So the meaning is I bow to you. So let me introduce myself first. My name is Suresh Nair. I have been living in Shakopee for 8 years. I came from India to this country in late 99. So I moved to Shakopee around 8 years back. I live in Shakopee with my wife and 3 kids. By profession, I'm an IT professional. So some of you might be remembering I ran for city council in November, last November. I don't have big background in the field of social work, but I am planning to go in that direction. As you know, we have a lot of India community people here in Shakopee. I know Shakopee is rich in cultural diversity. As the city population increases, the diversity also grows. I think the diversity is directly connected to the immigration. So people from all over the world immigrate to US. That means we are getting more diversity. That's a nice thing. By the way, you know who was the first immigrant to this country? Christopher Columbus. Yeah, Christopher Columbus migrated to this country around 1492, and then all of us followed him. As we know, culture takes thousands of years to form. Because it cannot happen in a day or two, or maybe not in our life span. So it takes thousands of years, and that is something we inherit from our ancestors and need to pass on to our next generation. So I think it's very important in everybody's life. Here the question is how to utilize this diversity to bring more opportunities in our community. We should think about that, and we have a cultural diversity, and we need to help each other, and at the same time we need to see how we can bring an opportunity or more information or insight from this diversity. I think first thing we need to know is create an awareness about the different cultural system. And then we need to, especially I think each culture gives us a lot of valuable life lessons. So probably that would help you to find most of your solution to most of your problems, at least some of your problems. So it's better to try to understand others' culture, and if that makes sense to you, try to follow that, and that would definitely help. As I said before, this cultural diversity is not belongs to one person or one group. It's kind of a universal, I would say. So once you have that kind of knowledge or wisdom, it would definitely help each one of us. So how do we experience cultural diversity or in our life? I would like to say an example. Like, let's say you are going to a Thai restaurant, and actually that person who runs the restaurant is showcasing their food culture. So once you enjoy that Thai food, you are trying to understand that culture, and at the same time you are promoting that culture too. So similarly, if you practice yoga or meditation, definitely I'm sure at least some of you might have been doing that. So you are trying to understand the India culture, and you are experiencing it. That's more important. Once you practice, then only you will get that experience. Once you have that experience, you will feel the difference and you will really appreciate it. So, as I said, when you practice this yoga or meditation, you are coming close to, you are trying to understand the ancient Indian culture, as well as you are promoting it. So, I would like to see more this kind of events in near future. I'm sure we will be planning to do that. So I would like to participate in that, and I would like to thanks to the city and the school board to organize this diversity summit. It's a good start, no doubt about that. So I am expecting more opportunities like this to meet the people belongs to different diversity, and share our ideas or culture or our common issues, and right now I would like to offer all my support and our community's support for all of the future programs regarding the cultural summit. Thank you so much.
Wonderful job as well. We're on here, okay. And we are honored to have one last speaker tonight. The Mexican consul came tonight from St. Paul, which I think is amazing and great. So,
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you for having me here. Thank you, Mary, for the invitation. I'm very, very honored and pleased to be here. And I see you have all the elements to be successful. This is a very good start. You have a very proactive mayor, very young mayor, and you have a young city, young people, talented people, a beautiful and welcoming city as well. You have wonderful liaisons, the school district. I mean, you have all the elements that make a very good blend. I'm the Consul General of Mexico, and I've been here for 3 years and a half, and the Consulate of Mexico has been here for 6 years. It's fairly new, and we have like 5 main areas of performance, 5 main divisions. Documentation, we issue all our official documents, passports, birth certificates, ID consular cards. Protection, which is a huge division at the consulate, and it's the focus is on educating our community about their rights and their obligations as well. And we have multiple services in that regard. We give advice, or we provide advice at the legal level, labor issues, migratory issues. We provide all kind of information. And the third main area of performance at the consulate has to do with education and health, which are our backbones. Those are 2 backbones, and we have a health window program at the consulate, physically located there, which provides services not just for the Mexicans but for the Latino community. It's for free, and it provides basic health care to the community. And well, even though it's physically located at the consulate, you can call and make a consultation, and the promoter, the health worker, will provide the information for the community. Education, many services in that regard. We have a scholarship fund and to promote students to go to college, which is really important. Education is the most important thing, and I've heard everybody address that issue, is key. And we also donate books, and we are going to have a big program to donate books to the schools and to the libraries and to the churches. And we will send out, and we will make sure that you have that call and that invitation. We are going to have this ceremony on the 7th of May. And it's great to have these books because those are in Spanish, and it's a good tool for the students to learn and to read in Spanish. And the 4th and 5th divisions at the consulate have to do with promoting investment and trade. Mexico is the 3rd trading partner of Minnesota. And actually there are 118 jobs in Minnesota that depend directly in the relationship between Mexico and Minnesota in terms of trade. And we promote also culture beyond stereotypes. So I'm very happy to be here, and I would love to be part of this effort in any, I think we are very resourceful and we want to be a part of this effort. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, let's give another round of applause for the great speakers. All right, our original plan was to have everybody break out into small groups, but never in our wildest dreams did we expect to have 140 people here tonight. There are 140 people here. We are going to change the plans just a little bit, which I'm okay with. And so first, a couple housekeeping things. If anybody needs to go to the bathroom and you haven't been here before, out this door and to the right, there are restrooms. It's like a maze getting down to the bathrooms, but just follow the signs and you'll get there. And so that's the direction to get out that direction. There are also water fountains out there as well, so if anybody needs those, feel free to go at your leisure. A couple other people that I would like to introduce. Chief of Police, Shakopee Chief of Police, Jeff Tate, over here. He is phenomenal and extremely approachable, so if anybody needs anything, he's your guy, not me, him. So, no. And Mark McNeil, City Administrator, back here. He's the one that makes everything work in the city, which is great. Jamie Polly is out there. Everybody can wave at Jamie. Jamie is Park and Rec Director and coordinates everything that happens with all of our activities and does a wonderful job with that. Chris, do you want to introduce school board people who are here?
Yeah. You have, who are our school board members that are here? We have our school, am I on? Oh, okay. We have our school board, our head of our school board here, Carla Schutrup. We have Scott Swanson. We have a former school board member, Chuck Berg. We have numerous staff members, teachers who are here. There are too many to count. Oh, and Angela, is Angela Tucker? Another one of our school board members is here. And Reggie Bowerman was here, but he had to be with his daughter who's visiting from college, so he would like to say hello to everybody too. And Mary Romansky is here somewhere too. So we have almost our entire school board member here. So if you have any questions about our school, you can ask them or myself.
That is great to have everybody here tonight. And I forgot Chris Wilson, which I don't see Chris. Chris is running the cameras, so everybody can watch this later. So Chris Wilson is Assistant City Administrator as well, and so she keeps everything running. So that is great. So now we're going to go into our quasi-small group discussion kind of thing here. So what we're going to do, it's going to be a little bit of a mess, and I apologize for that. We're not exactly, all the numbers on your name tags were intended to break everybody into small groups, but that's not going to work out with all these people. So this is a very good problem to have. So what we want to do is we've got sheets with questions on them. Who does your community turn to when you need help or information? What needs do you have? What opportunities and bright spots do you see in your community's future? what is the best way for the city and school district to communicate with you, and then what are your ideas for the future, and what good discussions have you had. So what I'd like to have happen is kind of self-select your own little groups right where you're at. We've got, you're all smart people. You can do this. I have faith in you. So just take 6 or 8 people in your area where you're at. And we've got these forms, and we'll bring them around, and I want these back. This is information that we need to have, and this is information that we want to have from everyone in this room. So pick a person to write some things in your group, and we were intending to take half an hour for this, but we'll take probably 10 or 15 minutes, and then we'll take a really quick break if anybody needs to, and then we will just kind of have a lessons learned and figure out what are our next steps, what you guys talked about, what everybody thinks we should do next, and from the floor if you have any questions or what people think our next steps should be. So start grabbing your groups. Mary.
Something really quick. We
Absolutely.
also have providers. We have tools set outside from Beth Olson, Beth UN. Okay, we have Beth. You want to talk a little about really quick?
Hi, I'm Beth Olson. I'm with Scott County Employment and Training. I work out at the Workforce Center out on Canterbury Road. I've got information for employment and training. We work with individuals that are 14 to 85. My oldest one that I work with is 85 years old. She's being very active in the community. Projects or programs are set up for dislocated workers, so those individuals who are out of jobs, those who know they need further training to get better jobs, and youth who need to get their first experience or credits through the summer to get their high school diploma, and those seniors who want to upgrade their skills and stuff to get a better job in their community also. So I have information out there. Please grab information and get a hold of us. And we're located, like I said, out at the Canterbury Down Road.
We also have Terry Hassan.
Hi, my name is Terry Hassan, and I was listening to all the speakers here, and I thought how unique it was that I'm a lifelong resident of Shakopee, but I like to think that I have some cultural diversity in that I speak Spanish, unfortunately, not as well as I'd like to, and I also recently became Muslim, so salam alaikum to everyone here. And so it's kind of interesting to see Shakopee. I've been here, like I said, all my life, so it's really interesting to see all the diverse groups here. I was born in 1959, so I'm giving away my age, but I've seen a lot of diversity in my lifetime.
One second,
so it's
Terry. If
wonderful.
everybody could please listen, we're not quite ready. I know you're all excited about small groups. I know it's an exciting thing, but let's please listen while we get this, before we get started here. So thank you.
Thanks, Brad. And I work at the CAP agency, Community Action Program, and so you probably know we have a food shelf. We do Head Start, energy assistance. I had one young gentleman come and tell me that he really likes the CAP agency and all the programs that we do. And I'm also here to represent the River Valley Nursing Center. Barb says hi to you, Brad. And also that we have a free walk-in clinic, so that's where we see a lot of diverse groups come out and with the need for health care. So I'm very excited to be here today, and I hope this diversity group continues. I think it's a very good start.
Is it green?
I can't, no, it's red.
Well, you're out of luck.
Okay, hi, my name is Kathy Claire. I don't need a microphone.
I'm the director of the Scott County Historical Society, and I'm fabulous excited to be here tonight. We need to have more representation of the different cultures in our city represented at the museum, and I would love to have anyone who's interested in working with us on that to please contact me. I have some information on that end of the building, and my business card is out there. We would love to have work with you to have the cultures that are in our city to be represented at the museum, and to have your faces in our museum too. So please contact us about that. Thank you.
Nada más nos falta uno, y I'm going to say this really quick in Spanish because it's with the Mexican Council. Va a hablar uno de los de la embajada del cónsul mexicano. Esto están decidiendo sobre qué. ¿Sí? Ok.
All right. Now, oh, I'm sorry. Jeez. I apologize.
Okay, my name is Alan. I'm from the Consulate of Mexico. I'm also here with our consul, Ana Luisa Fajer. And in this opportunity, in this space that Mary invited us, we brought some information also for all the Mexicans that are over here. We have information regarding documentation documents, for example, like passports, consular IDs. Also, in the area of community affairs, we manage a lot of education programs. So if you're interested and just want to get to know what we do here as the Consulate of Mexico in St. Paul or in Minnesota, please step by our table just outside, or just come to me, and I'll be more than glad to answer all your questions. All right.
Beautiful. Thank you. All right. Yeah. All right. I think that all the papers got passed out. Try and break up into groups with people you don't know. So I know you're sitting with family, and that's not going to be the easiest thing, but switch around, and you guys can do this. So just take a quick couple seconds and switch chairs, and make sure to get to meet the people around you. So we're going to take 10 minutes, and at 7:30, we're going to come back and start talking again. Thank you.
We have to go to north. I don't want to do anything. I will go and eat some.
That threw me off.
Hey, last weekend we had a
Brad, you probably should get going again for your music.
All right. We are going to pull it back together. You guys are amazing. I don't know. It sounds like it's on. All right, let's get back. Yeah. Just focus. Yeah. Everybody can go. Yeah. You want to do that? Or... All right, folks, let's come back. I'm assuming you had good conversations if it's still going on. That's great. Yeah. All right. Okay, so what we're going to do now, if everybody could come back real quick, we've got 20 minutes to talk about what we learned from each other and to talk about what our groups think are good next steps as to what we want to do. So we've got 20 minutes left here, and I hate it when meetings run late, so just everybody knows that one. But we've got about 20 minutes, and we are going to go around, and each of your groups, if you want to talk, you can kind of report on what you talked about, have somebody be your main person from the group, and just kind of talk about the things that you learned from each other, how you answer the questions, and most importantly, what your ideas are for moving forward with things and what we want to accomplish. And so somebody has the microphone. Mary over there has the microphone. So who wants to, there was something I was supposed to announce first. In 20 minutes when we're done here, right at 8 o'clock, anybody who is interested in helping to figure out exactly what the next step will be and what we do moving forward from here, come up here and talk to me, and we'll get information, and we'll figure out a time to meet, and we'll figure out how to move forward. So anybody who wants to be involved, please don't be shy. It will be a great group for moving everything forward, and we will meet up here right at 8 o'clock, and anybody who wants the results of what everybody wrote down and what people talked about, make sure that we have your email address. Everybody, as they came in, we asked for your email address for best communication. So can we tell folks to be quieter out there if they're going to be out there? Thanks. I feel like I'm screaming at everybody.
The power.
Yeah. So if you haven't signed in the registration, you didn't put your email address, on the way out, please do that so that we can know everybody who is here and have ways to communicate with everybody, because above everything, communication is the key, and just getting information around and being able to do that. So who would like to be the first person to, Yvonne. All right, she was first hand up. So Mary's got the microphone for you.
And I would like to point out that if we're loud, it's a culture thing.
Oh,
That is true.
Okay, I'm going to just focus on one of the questions, and I'm going to do the what opportunities and bright spots do you see in your community's future?
Many people are here tonight, want to make a change. The liaisons within the school, I don't think I realized how many liaisons we had. And youth are more open to diversity.
Beautiful. Who all was in your group back there, Yvonne? Nice. Good. Who wants to go next? All right, up front.
Testing. All right. All right. So, what my group came up with is more of that. Oh God, I'm kind of nervous. I'm sorry, but as my group discussed, we need to have more communication within our community and stressing the situation. More of people trying to understand how to communicate with each other, even with language or other opportunities, and like trying to just contact each other with that way so we all understand and we are clear with that. Because not everyone is on Facebook, not everyone checks their mail, so we need a better way to communicate with the community with all these 48 languages that we have. And thanks to these liaisons, am I correct? We have better opportunities steering into the different direction. So I believe that just with the better communication we are to come with, then our community will only get better. Because this is a good step into the community. As of 2012, starting this new summit, this is a big step, including with the new mayor. So we have to make these changes, and it will take time. We're not like trying to take these huge steps out of nowhere, right? But in due time, we will make these changes. Better communication will for sure be issued. That's what I want to see. And I want it to be stressed to these younger children as well, because they're the future. They're the younger generations, like me. I want everyone to realize that there's only a few children in the room, and I want a lot more children or even teenagers to show their support for the community in diversity.
That was really good. It's really good. I met some new friends today, and we had some really cool conversations over here, getting to know each other and just kind of trying to figure out how to fill this piece of paper out. The one thing that I think just struck for me in our little corner over here was Somalian culture. Well, I'll just say I grew up with a church, with a community center. Those were kind of key things in my life in developing who I am. And our Somali culture right now does not have a mosque or any sort of like community center where they can come together as a culture and grow as a culture. And that's so that turns into this kind of isolating experience. So I thought that was a pretty profound realization from my perspective. So thank you so much.
Hey, Mike. Mike, tell us about what you're doing.
Well, I'm standing here holding a microphone. One of the things that we've been kind of working on, we're really fresh into it, is trying to think of some innovative uses for the fire station building that's been decommissioned. You know, the city's paid for it. It's in pretty good shape, and there isn't a lot of community centers downtown where people could go, you know, aside from bars, you know, in the park where you could go and you could have some of your cultural events or just see the people in the neighborhood, have a cup of coffee, play some cards, right? So that's one of the things we're doing. So if anybody has any ideas, right now everything's kind of being called Fire Station Arts, and you can find it around on the web and stuff. But it's really evolving into way more of a community center. But enough on that. I'd like to reiterate from here, we're hearing the same thing, that there's no community gathering place for the Somali community. I asked the question, with all the empty real estate, how come you don't come and fill those buildings with Somali businesses, you know, so that you have those places? And their answer was, it's just not sustainable yet. We're new here and there aren't enough people, which I thought was a very solid realization. So the things that we found, the biggest conduit for connecting people in neighborhoods are the kids, because the kids play with each other and the kids don't see any difference. and they play, and then you get to meet your neighbors. And so I heard from a couple of people that they moved into neighborhoods where there wasn't a lot of opportunity for kids to play together, and so then they don't know their neighbors. You see them when they drive by in their car and they wave, and that's it. And that, I think that happened. I mean, that's the nature of the way we're building cities now, unfortunately. But we need to, I think there could be some things that could change that. Some, you know, block party programs, or bringing arts or events out to the streets. Some of the needs, there were some interesting things. Translators, of course, respecting that we are all different, and we always will be different. And that's an asset to all of us, right? Protection, not profiling. And then a very tactical one was there was some concerns around trying to go and speak to human services in Scott County and having them be less than familiar with, just because they don't have the history of dealing with new Somali immigrants or whatever. So the idea of maybe taking, doing workshops with the Hennepin County Health and Human Services to kind of guide and educate, make it a little easier. But yeah, that's it.
Are we allowed to give compliments tonight? I'd like to give thanks to a particular person here tonight and just tell a quick story. Mr. Paul Kelly, can you stand up, please? My two sons, we have two sons that attend Shakopee School District, and he is a counselor for the high school. And in 10th grade, my son, Christopher, came home and said, "Mom, I'm bored." 10th grade. So Mr. Paul Kelly helped him, and he went on to the University of Minnesota as a full-time student, leaving 10th grade, and now he's a electrical engineer owning his own business. And his younger brother, you helped him as well, and so the school district has been a big blessing to our family, and we're so very grateful. So I just want to say thank you, Mr. Kelly, and the whole Shakopee School District.
Hello. My name's Tinsai. Nice to meet you guys. Okay. Well, we discussed in our group mainly things like discrimination in Shakopee. And they're saying that the newer generation, which is true, there is less discrimination. An example would be Minnesota is the #2 ranking state in the nation for gay marriages. And so we don't discriminate against anyone really in the state of Minnesota. But what we were stating was like the older generation was slightly more provocative in their discrimination, I would say. But could I share your story of what you told us? And you said protection instead of profiling. And that's a good example because they shared a story. They're from, Dave and Pam are from Guyana in South America. And they said that 3 times in the, how many years? 21 years that they've lived in Shakopee, they've been arrested on their lawn by taking a stroll on their nice big yard because the police thought they didn't live in the nice house. So kind of bad discrimination there, but we don't really see that much with the younger generation. And I would just like to say that probably to break this habit would be utilizing something like LEAD, a group at the Shakopee High School. We are multicultural, but the reason that we link and get together is probably because we have a common morale, camaraderie, a goal to meet, spread diversity, and so we all like think together in a unity. And second, what was it? Oh, throughout elementary school, we are taught to the golden rule and don't hate, appreciate. I don't know, something like that. But basically, through media and social standings, we come to find that we do end up using external representative heuristics, stereotyping people, and that type of deal, and we perceive a culture inside our head, and we automatically think we know the culture based on stereotypes. And from LEAD, I know that most of those stereotypes are broken because, well, exception. Indians are pretty smart. I'm just, a lot of cultures are smart though. That was just a joke. I'm sorry. I just had to throw a joke in there. Comic relief. Learned well from Mr. Ammo here. Comic relief. All right, that's it. I'm good.
All right, hi, I'm Allie. I'm a former alumni of LEAD and a high school graduate. What my group discussed was we talked a lot about public transportation. We know we're a town, not an urban or a suburban area, or urban area, excuse me. But we are growing, and since our population is mostly teens and elderly, I know a lot of people don't want that on the roads, and just taking sort of precautions would be expanding our public transportation. And then a lot of people had concerns for future discussions about communication. That's a big deal. Like the liaisons would be an example. At the high school, there are liaisons, and we really appreciate them. And I know that the cultures that are represented at the high school really appreciate the liaisons. But that needs to be expanded because their availability is really stretched out. They don't really, just to say it in a way that they have their jobs set out for them, it's just really hard for them to sort of meet the expectations of a whole community. If it's just one person, it needs to expand. I know that another thing was the festival. We were really excited about the festival. We want that to happen. And the last thing that I thought was really prevalent in our discussion was that, that the space that we have in Shakopee could really come to use with the diversity that we're trying to sort of show from Shakopee. I know a lot of businesses could open up. What did you guys say? It was restaurants and a good quality mall. The women were really excited about that. Shopping and a market and
organic food kind of.
We just wanted to reinforce that the newsletter, I know that that's a really good way to reach everybody, and that's, I think, all I have to say. Thank you.
One piece that I think that I talked to some other people too, the communication. I work for the schools too, but a lot of our students say they don't have access to computers, and the only public place they can go to is the library. So we were talking about how other public places can keep like 2 public computers, like the police center in Southbridge, the fire station, some other buildings, this public building like you said. They can have like 2 computers each for where kids can just walk to and they don't have to feel embarrassed or bad about not owning a computer. And then Mary, if we can get wireless for everyone in the city.
We've actually had discussions on that one.
I'm Cynthia. I'm a part of LEAD with Mr. Kelly and my Crimson Psi. So one of the things we discussed was that, like Ali said, our city is growing. Diversity is always going to grow, and we should really, and also what Mike said, that the youth is the future. So we should get more events, like the international festival, I think it was. It'd be really nice, I think. We were talking about it. It'd be really nice to have it in Huber Park, It's a really nice place. We could all get together, you know, have tents, get to know other people instead of, you know, like I've experienced a lot, people just kind of close themselves off into their own world or don't really take the first step into getting to know other people even though they might want to. And it'd be really nice to have that, to have potlucks and stuff. And also, it'd be nice to have this diversity summit annually, because I think they said it's been growing, 140 people, right?
This is the
Are
first
here?
one we've ever had. We had 140
Oh, really?
people show up for the first one. Yeah.
Well, it'd be nice to have more of these summits, because I've already met new people, and they're really nice. And yeah, also what Ali said, public transportation, the expansion of it. I never knew like it was really available until this year. So it'd be nice. I'm gonna try to use it more. And that's it.
Okay, let's take like one or two more people with something quick and actionable. Something that we want to get done. Something we want to get done fast. Something we want to get done now. Go for it, Ibrahim.
All right, quick. Hello, my name is Mary, and we had a lot of great discussion in our group as well. Very quick, one of the things that we learned, the best way for the city and school district to communicate is through email, so that they can share and post and share with all of the people in their community. So that was something that we learned as well. Just one really quick thing also, who does your community turn to when you need help for information? The CAP agency, loud and clear. So thank you very much for all of your support and the services that you provide.
Thank you. I would like to make a quick point. I'm very happy, to be here tonight. What I would like, this question is to the mayor. In the future, we would like to have round-table meeting. For example, in Eden Prairie, I used to live in Eden Prairie. For 5 years, they had what they call who's your neighbor. For example, the Indian, they present their culture. The Arab, they do that. Indian, they do. Somalians, they do. Mexican or Latino, they do. So we are expecting to replicate the experience of that city. So people learn, that's the way to start the dialogue. So I'm looking forward to make that happen as a community. You can contact for the cultural liaisons, and we will do that for you. Also, our school district, District 720, they are open for that. They are doing their part. So this collaboration, it has to continue, it has to foster, and we are looking forward to work together for the improvement of the city. And also, we are happy for you, and thank you for the new mayor and your staff.
A quick action item that can be done this year. The international festival this year can be done with the Derby Days if few stalls were open to other communities. So that structure is already there. So just to add some more to it shouldn't be that hard. Should not be a word, but I used it.
Okay, I realize I have a name tag on. I thought it was kind of cool that he knew my name. My name is Chrissy. I do work for the YMCA in Prior Lake, and I work at Eagle Creek Elementary for the Shakopee School District. So if I look familiar, that might be why. We talked a lot about how excited we are when we look around this room and see a ton of different people, and that I don't know or people that I do know that I've just met throughout the community. But we heard a lot about we want to come together, we want to do all these great things, but the simplest thing that was brought up by my friend, who I forgot his name, Mohammed, said that if we all meet together and come to an understanding that where we want to go and what we want to do, it's going to help us build our cultures up. And I just thought that was really cool coming from him, so keeping it brief.
heard a lot about what we can get, but I'm not hearing what we can do. So I know for a fact there's lots of volunteer opportunity. I've been an MRC volunteer for Scott County. We do 8 miles of highway, mobile meals, and involved in the school district and in many ways. And I would encourage people, don't come here to America just to take, but give back. Do something. Go clean the highway, get involved somewhere in the school. The needs are great. And so it's a great land of opportunity. I'm very blessed to be here in the United States of America. God bless America. And I would encourage people from everywhere, all walks of life, do something. Just don't sit and complain that everybody is being mean to me, everybody is discriminating after me, and it could be you're the problem. Just get up and go and do something.
Well, I really want to thank you all for coming tonight to our first summit. I really want to thank Jeff Tate for being here, the chief. He has supported us immensely. I don't know what the word. Thank you very much. Thank you, Ms. Lee. Thank you to the speakers. Thank you to Pastor Pat for supporting us. And thank you very much for all of you being here. Have a good night.
From the school board, on behalf of the school board and the school district, we'd like to thank all the families and especially the youth who stood up and spoke up. We're so proud that the youngsters aren't afraid to speak up. Thank you very much.
All right, everybody who wants to be part of the task force, come up front, please. Yes, and we want your papers back. I wasn't even on, sorry. We want all your papers back, so give them to Chris right here, and make sure that we have everybody's email, please. Sign up on your email on the way out, and thank you so much, everybody, for coming. I really, really appreciate it. Have a great night.